Biryani is probably the most favorite food of India as it is the most ordered food on apps. Generally attributed to the Mughalai cuisine, there are innumerable variations of biryani across the Indian subcontinent. Being one of the popular dishes of Indian cuisine, recently it has led to a debate on who owns the legacy of biryani. Whether it was a Mughal invention, a pre-Mughal Turco-Persian influence, or it goes way back to the period of Mahabharata or the Sangam period of Tamil Nadu. Let us try to understand the arguments and what could be the truth. The complex roller coaster ride begins. Hello everyone, this is Pranav and you're watching Pravyav Now podcast Myths and Mythology around Biryani. What is a pulao and what is a biryani? A popular joke on the internet calls vegetarian biryani a fried pulao, but that is untrue. Biryani and pulao are two different preparations and there can be a vegetarian biryani and a non-vegetarian pulao. In pulao, the spices are not as strong as in biryani and the meat is cooked along with the raw rice. In biryani, the meat and rice are cooked separately and then combined in layers before the final cooking. Well, this technically makes the Parsi dish Beri Pulao a form of biryani. While researching on Beri Pulao, I came to know that Beri Pulao is indeed a biryani. It came into existence as a blend of Iranian Zeresk Pulao with Bombay style biryani. Thus, while the preparation is that of a biryani, the name continues to remain pulao. Now that we have established the difference between biryani and pulao, let us go ahead. Origin of rice and pulao. Pulao is generally believed to have come from Middle Eastern pilaf, a dish that came into prominence during the Abbasid Caliphate and spread across the world. It evolved into pulao in India and paella in Spain. But the oldest cultivator of rice have been India and China. Also, the word pulao or palau is mentioned in the 2nd century Sanskrit text Yajnavalkya Smriti and in the Tamil records going back to ancient times. Palau here is a rice dish cooked with spiced meat. Its etymological origin could be puluka, meaning a ball of rice in Sanskrit, but I could not confirm these facts. The only source I found was Indian Food, a Historical Companion by K.T. Acharya. The myth of Iranian origin. Post-Turkic invasions, Persian became the official language of many Indian empires. Hence, Persian words found their way into Indian vocabulary. The word biryani comes from the short form of the Persian word birinj biryan, meaning fried rice. Biryan means fried and hence it is a generic term. There has never been a rice dish named biryani in Iran. The Isfahan biryani found in Iran is the only dish with this name, but it's a combination of meat and bread, not rice. Hence, it would be completely wrong to credit Iran for biryani just because the name has a Persian origin. The Mughal origin claim. Traditionally, rice and meat were prepared in bulk for the Mughal army. According to a legend, it was the Mughal Empress Mumtaz Mahal who saw the malnourished men in the Mughal army and ordered the cooks to prepare a new meal which eventually became biryani. This is just a legend, nothing is recorded in history. Biryani requires more time and effort to make than a pulao, which is a one-pot recipe. So why would the military spend so much time on an elaborate recipe? There are many factors that make this folklore unbelievable. But a Mughal-era cookbook, Nushka-e-Shahjani, mentions a chapter on biryan or fried recipes. Out of many, there is a dish named Zair Biryani Nur Mahali, which fits the precursor to the modern biryani. Here, meat is mixed with ginger, garlic, salt and fried in ghee with fried onions. Then it is added to a half-boiled rice and cooked under a closed lid. Only the meat is above the rice, not below as we make them today. The Sangam period claim. The earliest mention of a precursor to pulao is Unnu Soru, mentioned in the ancient Tamil Sangam literature. It was a rice dish prepared with meat and spices and fed to the military warriors. So it must have been a tradition of feeding the army a rice meat dish that continued till Mughal period. The Mahabharata origin claim. In the Mahabharata, there is a story of Nala, a king of Nishada kingdom. When he loses his kingdom, he lives anonymously as a cook for another king named Rituparna. He is considered as a wonderful chef, but his recipes are not mentioned in his story. His recipes get mentioned in a much later text called Paka Darpanam, and this is where we find a link to the biryani. Here a dish is called Mamsodana, where Mamsa means meat and Odana means cooked rice. Here the meat and rice are fried and cooked separately and then combined under a closed lid. Therefore it fits definition of a biryani. But historians place the text of Pakar Darpana to the 12th century CE. Hence it is not as ancient as the Mahabharata, but it is not as late as the Mughal Empire. Mamsodana is also mentioned in Ramayana, and hence it does have ancient origins. A country that grows rice and eats meat wouldn't wait for thousands of years for foreigners to come and introduce the recipe to them. The post-Mughal invention claim. Most of the Mughalite food attributed to the Mughals were not created during the time of Mughals, but were invented in regional princely courts during the East India Company rule in India. Biryani recipes emerged during this period. It was a result of the patronage of Nawabs and Nizams. An important thing to note is that the recipes do not evolve in a linear way, but there are multiple influences at multiple times in multiple geographies. While yogurt marination has been mentioned in ancient Indian texts, yogurt marination for meat in biryani can be attributed to the Turkic people, as Ayurveda prohibits mixing of yogurt with meat. The dum technology and topping of fried onions and fried dry fruits are most likely a Persian-Mughal influence. Thus, Mamsodana with Turco-Mongol and Persian influence could have resulted in modern biryani. Chilies, potatoes, tomatoes, cashews and many other ingredients came to India from the Portuguese. Thus, these additions to the recipe got us the modern biryani that we consume today. In conclusion, just like how Firni is the modified version of India's kheer, biryani could have been a modified version of Mamsodana. Just like how Onnusoru was fed to the Tamil army, biryani could have been a continuation of this practice. And just like how Gobi Manchurian is attributed to Manchu Chinese but has nothing to do with them, biryani is an Indian dish with a Persian name but nothing to do with Persia or Central Asia. Let me know what you think about biryani in general and tell me which is your favorite biryani in the comments below. This is Pranav signing off. Tada.